Well, I was born in Hermosillo, Sonora, Mexico, which is in the northwest of the country. It's just next to Arizona. So my childhood was really regular childhood. My mom and my dad, my sister, and my little brother. Well, I was born Catholic, like most of the Mexican people. And when I was 9 years old, I used to go to mass by by myself. And I told my mom, I want to be an altar boy. I would like to participate in mass. And then she got information where to go and what to do. So she took me the next Saturday to the parish, and I went into a room, and it was the priest with a bunch of kids, like 25 kids, teaching them how to serve in the altar. So that was my first experience. I enrolled in that service for almost 6 years until I got 15. And after that, I started like going to youth retreats and youth religious groups. And that took me until I was 25, I guess, when I started working professionally. And I stopped going a little bit to church, not as often as I used to. But at the age of, I don't know, 28, I guess, I came back and I've been in church involvement like for a while. So since I was a kid, I always like saw the priest like my role model, and I always wanted to be kind of a priest. But by the moment when I was 21, my mom didn't like the idea, so she said, "Why don't you finish first the career, second career, and then you can go and pursue religious life." And I said, "Okay, that sounds fair because moving from one career to another one, like probably she thought I didn't know what I wanted and all that." So I accepted the offer, and I finished my career. And right after my career, I started working in that college. So it was a really good job. So I forgot the idea of being a priest or into religious life. But during the pandemic, I started going to the Holy Sacrament once a week and then twice a week and so on, until I started feeling again this call, this way of serving God in a more committed way. So I started praying, talking to priests, and they said, "Well, you should go now because if you wait more time, it's gonna be too late." So that's how I got into this religious life. Like I was on Instagram actually looking for um, religious orders, and most of the religious orders in my country, in Mexico, they told me that I was too old for that. So I was rejected from several religious orders, and I don't know how. Out of the sudden, I saw this application on Instagram about Franciscan's life, and I applied. And when you apply online, you don't expect an answer. You don't wait for an answer, and I got the response like after a week, and we started having this discernment uh, year. They told me you have to be in discernment for a year with us, and they invited me last year to come to Chicago, and I spent there like for a week. So it was really nice getting to know all the friars and the way they lived, the way they prayed, and that's how I got here after a year. I mean, you would never imagine through a social network you will find the answer to your prayers because, well, God speaks in different ways. So, yeah, they answered really fast, and I started the discernment. I thought that would be immediately. It was around May what I'm talking about. So last year. So I thought that by July I would be into the religious order. But I said, no, no, no. You have to wait for a year. We need to see you. We need to get to know you, and you need to come. And yeah, that the year went really fast. I had a year to prepare myself, all the things back in Mexico, like what I'm gonna do with the house, with the car, and all those things that you don't you have, but as a religious order you cannot continue with the regular life. And far away from Mexico, well, you need somebody to take care of those things. So yeah, I got here last year in July, it was really interesting because when I went for my visa, because I had a visa, but when I saw it, it had expired already. So I had to start the process really, really quick. And I got the visa to enter to the United States one day before I was supposed to be here. So everything was really well planned by God, I guess, because I got the visa one day before. I got the visa, I bought the tickets, the airplane tickets, and I came to Chicago last year. So everything was like a surprise. Having a car, a two-story house, and a great job, a good salary, it's everything. But at the end, when you are looking for a spiritual life, well, you don't feel like that sense of fulfillment in your life. And that's what happened to me. So I decided to try and go for this spiritual motion that I had moving in my heart for a while that I thought I had forgotten because, more than 15 years that I had felt that. So yeah, I started growing up, and I decided to go for it. I mean, it's there's only one life, so let's see what's in it. At the beginning, I didn't know the differences between OFMs, Capuchins, and conventuals. I didn't have any idea about that. I was very devoted to Padre Pio, and he turned out to be a Capuchin. So I got to know Padre Pio first, and being here, I think that it's by his intercession because he's a Capuchin. So the first person who answered my email was a Capuchin order. So now that I'm here, I can tell that it was planned in a very well way by God because He predestined me to be here because I didn't know anything about the Capuchins before. I didn't know any differences between the three orders, but there was something that really caught my attention: the way they treat people, the way they are very approachable, the way they are very kind to everybody and welcoming. So that was something that really got me because when I went to Chicago, all the friars were really nice. I mean, they were always welcoming. They were always trying to make you feel good. So that was something that really crushed in my heart. I love it. I love it. I love helping people. I'm a very people person, so I love talking, helping. In our ministry in House of Peace, I usually help people who do not speak the language English. So there are many people from Latin America who are always like speaking Spanish to me, like, "Are you gonna do this? Are you gonna bring something extra?" So it's really rewarding to be there and having the opportunity to help and being open to everybody who needs some help. Not only praying, which is the base of everything, but also serving the people. Following Jesus is the best decision that I've taken, so I shouldn't have waited so much time. Uh, but God got His plans. But if they feel this inner feeling of following Jesus, they should go for it. Don't wait too much time. So don't spend your life on vanity things. So start following Jesus as soon as possible. I would suggest to listen to everybody and get as much advice as possible. And they are there, our brothers are there to help. So there are different ways to do things, and we have our own books on how to do things, but it's also good to learn new ways. And I will say, yeah, be open to listen, to be helped, and to get advice from the other brothers. Yeah, you have the support of more than 10 people in the house. So they are like your real brothers. I mean, they are there to help you, to give you advice, to listen to you, to suggest, and to give that word that you needed during the day. Because you can be here and living your own life in your room, but when you get out of there and you open your heart to the people, well, they are there to support you and help you. So it's like a big, big family. Well, I would say to give yourself the chance to try this life. It's a very rewarding and exciting and amazing life because you don't own anything, but at the same time you got everything you need. So I will suggest to give it a try, and come and join us, come and see, and like in the Bible, it says Jesus says, "Where do you live?" And come and see. Well, I feel very blessed to be here. I think that this is one of the best experiences of my life. Um, I had the opportunity to live in the States before, studying some um, diplomas in different states, in different universities in the States. So, but I think this is one of the best decisions that I've made because it makes me feel in peace, and that's what everybody wants, to feel or to have that sense of fulfillment in their lives. And since the first moment I got here, I have felt that this is the right place, that this is the place where I should be. And as I said to my brothers, I shouldn't have waited that long, but you know, at the end, you are here, and the present is what it counts. Well, I would love to start preaching. That's something that I really feel passionate about, and I want to start right after I can. So I'm looking forward. I have started reading and learning everything that I can here, and yeah, I would like to. Or I would love to preach the Word of God as soon as possible.